talk a little bit for people who haven't seen the movie yet. Describe your character and what she's up to in the film.
Oh my goodness. So I play Grace. She is a nanny that Kristen Davis and Dermot Mulroney hire to take care of their children while while Kristen's character Mary goes back to work and write her new novel. She's a novelist. She's kind of famous for writing these like crazy psychotic thrillers. And yeah, what you find out about, I'm like, you find a lot out about Grace as the movie progresses. I don't know what to say without giving too much away, but basically she's hired by this family to be a nanny for their children, and things go a little crazy and lines get very, very blurred, and you never quite know what she's up to.
Now, obviously, you get to play with opposite Kristen Davis, who's a great comic actress as well as actress generally. Did she give you any acting tips or?
I mean, no, not really. There was nothing. I mean, we just talked about, working on sets and working in TV and kind of how different the industry has become.
Yeah.
But what it was like being on that show in the 90s and what it's like working now. But there was never really any like acting tips. I just remember the final scene where her and Dermot are in the shower. After I did the first take, because we rehearsed it, but none of us went full out. And so when I did the first take, I just remember both her and Dermot were like, that was really good. And it's not like they were surprised or shocked because we had been working together, but also I think we shot those final scenes on like day 4. So we really hadn't gotten to know each other, and they didn't know what I was going to do for that final twist and how that was going to all play out. And so they were both kind of like, Greer, that was really good. You're good. And I was like, thank you. That meant a lot.
Yeah, I mean, they're two big acting pros. And what was Dermot like to work with on the film?
Oh my gosh, Dermot is such a dream. He is the most calm, chill, but like professional person. So he's always bringing his A game. And he was just so sweet and supportive of everyone and everything. And the movie we were trying to make, like he was 100% on board for it. And I think that was so incredible to have a man be so supportive of the material and understand it. And yeah, and he knew, like, he would suggest things if we were all kind of like looking for, like, he had suggestions, he had opinions, but was always so respectful about them and just wanted to make the best movie that we could.
Did you, so out of it all, I know it's like picking your babies, but did you have a favorite scene out of the whole thing now that you've had a chance to think about it and see the film finish?
Yes. So I have 2, and I have the one that was like my favorite to shoot and the one that's like my favorite overall. So my favorite to shoot was the introductory scene to Grace as a character when she kind of comes in and is reading the book and has the tea. And I think that's just because it felt like my Disney princess moment almost, even though this is clearly not a Disney princess film. But it felt so polite and proper, and like those are always the roles that I love to play. Like, I'm a huge Grace Kelly fan. Like, I love old movies, and it just kind of had that same feeling of like, hi, like tea would be lovely, like kind of thing. So I had so much fun with that while shooting. But when watching the film, I think my favorite is that final scene at the end. But in the midst of her switching personalities, there's this line where I go back into the bathroom and I say, sorry for the mess. And it's my favorite thing to watch because it's so crazy and you don't understand what's going on. And I thought that line was so funny and brilliant for Anna to write, but it's just so great because like, Grace is genuinely apologizing for the mess that has been made, that is being made, for the blood that's on the floor. And even though she she knows who did it, she doesn't want to believe that it's happening again. So it's kind of this like, I'm sorry for the mess. And it makes me laugh every time I watch it. So I think that's probably my favorite scene to.
So what other projects do you have coming up that you're working on?
Oh my gosh. So I have a movie that's releasing, I believe, this summer, which is called American Boogeyman, and it's about Ted Bundy. It's like a Ted Bundy horror film. Chad Michael Murray plays Ted Bundy, and he's incredible in the movie. And we filmed that last year during the pandemic, and it was so crazy to film during the pandemic, especially because it was before film had officially come back. So it was kind of like we were all just trying to see how we could do it. But that was really, really fun to do. I play a sorority girl at the college, Florida State, that he, famously Ted Bundy did some bad things at. So I have that coming up. And then just a couple more projects that are in development. I'm currently trying to work on a Christmas movie that I'm trying to write. But that's way, not at the forefront yet, but just a couple things that are coming up.